Everyone, this is Jennifer with Planting Science. This is our third video in a series of tutorials that showcase not only how to use our Planting Science website in general, but also highlight some of the changes and things that we've made in preparation for the fall of 2023 research initiative called Digging Deeper in F2. Um, a lot of those changes didn't have anything to do with the research. They were just things we needed in order to make the website work a little bit better. So if you're just viewing us for the first time, this is going to give you an overview of what it looks like to be a teacher or a liaison who is working with a group of students on the platform. If you have been with us before, this video may show you some things that you didn't know were there or things that are brand new. So hopefully you'll get a lot out of this. This is, as I said, the third video. The first one went over the user dashboard and all the features that are available here and how to use them. The second one dealt with the group page and how teachers and liaisons can edit information on the group page, change this, change the image, all of that. This time, what we're going to focus on is how to recruit mentors to come work with your team. So if you're somebody who's traditionally been a mentor, you've probably seen this from the other side. If you are signing up right now to be a mentor, this will give you an idea of what to expect when you're being recruited. One of the nice things about our website is that it features this scientist gallery and teacher gallery. And as a teacher with a group right now, if I click just on the gallery, it will show me a bunch of people and I can invite them from here to my group. Okay. But that's not usually the best way to go about it. And in fact, we've created tools that make this much easier. But I want to be very clear about this right off the bat, because I think initially teachers and liaisons kind of get a little anxious when we talk about recruiting mentors, because they sort of picture themselves having to like talk to their friends or, send out cold calls or something like that. It is not that difficult. All you're really doing is searching the database for mentors that are a good fit, and you're sending them an invitation in email. That's it. And it's all set up to be done within the context of the actual website. So you don't even have to do anything special. So if you are a liaison or a teacher, you're going to see you should have group manager here, and you'll have the ability to come to the members page, and there will be a button up here that says invite members. That is where the recruitment takes place. Okay. Now, there is a lot to talk about on this page because we've actually done a lot of restructuring, but I'm going to come back to this in just a minute. I just want to show the process because 99% of the people watching this video are probably coming for that. So you're a liaison and teacher, you're about to get started, you need to recruit mentors, and time's getting short. So you're getting worried. You come up here, you click on invite members. This screen is going to ask you how many mentors you need. And it's very important that you keep this in mind. You need only one mentor per group. It may be tempting to ask for, but per team, I should say. It may be tempting to over recruit. And there is a lot of logic that's not a terrible idea, but you definitely don't want to plan on inviting like 2 mentors to every team. Number one, that's not really necessary and it's going to use up our mentor pool too fast. But number two, it's very confusing for mentors when they're trying to both be mentors for the same team. So you only want to have one mentor per team. So when you think about your student teams, what you should be thinking about is I should have about 3 to 5 students per team. Please do not have less than 3. Please do not have more than 5. That's really, too many kids makes it very hard for them to feel connected to the mentor. Less than, if you have 2 kids or less than, if anybody drops out, then it's just one person alone and that's awkward. So 3 to 5 is ideal. Take the number of students that are participating, divide them into those groups, and that's the number of teams you need. So for this, in this case, we're going to assume that this is a class that has like 6 lab tables, 6 groups of 4. So we're going to need 6 mentors. I'm going to put in the number 6 here, and I'm going to click next. Now, before I click next, I do want to point out, if you've worked with us in the past and there are specific people you want to invite, you can just come down here and invite them. But we're going to do it this way. All right, so this is that scientist gallery, right? But it looks a little different now because now we're doing it through the invitation system. So what has happened here is that the invitation system takes all of our scientists and it sorts them on this page based on who's available. So everyone on this page should have indicated that they're available right now. Who is willing to work with your age of students? So everyone who appears on this page has indicated that they will work with high school students, because that's the age of students of the group, and has also said that they're comfortable mentoring on topics of photosynthesis and respiration, because they've indicated that they have a preference for mentoring for power of sunlight. That's what this group is using. So whatever your module, whatever your age group, it will filter automatically based on that information that you gave us in your application, and it's going to automatically even check off the top 6. So on this, what this is telling me is that these are the people that are probably most likely to be available. What it sorts to the bottom are people that haven't logged in as much lately, or have already received invitations and are either waiting or have committed to them. So that way we kind of spread it around a little bit. So you can, at this point, just click next and go on and just go with these 6. But if you want to scroll down and see who all else is available, you're welcome to do that. The thing I'll point out is that these rings here are meant to be a visual guide that tell you how busy they are. So if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, the busy people are always down here. Notice we have a lot. We have a lot of wonderful people working with us. What this tells us is how many active projects they're currently working on. And then what the bottom one is in yellow, and it tells you how many invitations that they currently have waiting. So in Liv Lean's case here, she is willing to work with up to 3 groups, but she only has 1 active project right now. So a third of her red one is already colored in. If she then received an invitation, you'd see yellow starting to fill this one up. And that just means she's got invitations waiting that she hasn't replied to yet. So this just gives you a notice that they're at the bottom of the list because they've already been recruited for things. And so in order to kind of circulate our invitations through all of our mentor pool, we make sure that the people at the top are people that haven't been invited recently. So they'll probably be really grateful to get your invitation. Now, again, this is training, so I don't actually want to send the invitations out, but I'm going to go ahead and click next to show you what that screen looks like. And it looks like this. Okay. It comes with this message preloaded so that you don't have to think about it too much. But if you wanted to personalize it with your own message, you could. But everybody's usernames are already preloaded here. At this point, if you've changed your mind and maybe you only want to invite a couple more people, you can, take people out of there. Say you thought of somebody that you wanted to work with specifically, so you added somebody in there specifically for that. You can also make those changes here as well. But when the list is as the people that you want, you can click send invites and it will send an invitation to those people. Okay, so then when you come to your members tab, you're going to notice that you have people here that are prospective members, and they say invitees. These are people that you have invited. Now, I invited Katrina earlier, and Janine obviously just got her invitation just now. If I click on either of these, it's going to take me to the invitees tab here at the top. So you see we have all members, managers, etc. On this screen, I can click on their names to go look at their profile. If that's useful to you, that's great. But the other thing that will happen is that over time, notice that you can see what date I invited them on. After so many days, and I think it's 5 business days, this card will turn pink. What that should tell you as a group manager, whether you're the liaison or the teacher, is that that invitation is probably not going to get a response. That can happen for a lot of reasons. A lot of times sometimes maybe the message went into spam. Sometimes it just went into a folder that they weren't expecting. Sometimes it means that the liaison or the prospective mentor, their schedule changed and they just really aren't able to mentor right now, even though they had themselves marked as available. Maybe they got called out of town unexpectedly, all of that. What's really important is that when that turns pink, you want to cancel that invitation. The reason for that is not to be mean. The reason for that is because you don't want that person to come back in 2 weeks, see that invitation sitting there, and reply to it then, after you've already recruited all the mentors you need. Because then you want to make sure, because then you just got somebody sitting there who has nothing to do. So canceling invitations is a kindness. It lets them know, thanks, but we don't really need your help now. Maybe we'll get you next time. And so if I click cancel this invitation, you'll get this warning. And it'll give you we're sorry we missed you, but we understand that you're probably very busy right now. All the best. As before, you can also edit this if you want to, put in different text, personalize it, and then you can click submit, and it will cancel that person's invitation. Okay. Now, Janine knew I was going to do that, so hopefully she won't be too weirded out by that. I'm going to leave Katrina's in here, though, because maybe it hasn't been that long yet. Okay. And then the other key thing, though, is that when I do finally have all the mentors that I need to supply all of my groups, then it is very important to come in here and cancel any invitations that are outstanding, no matter how long they've been sitting there. Just make sure that you don't have any invitations just hanging out there, because that's very confusing for our mentors. The other thing that can happen, and we talked about this a little bit with respect to setting the group settings, is that if you scroll down here to this section that says membership setting and join policy, by default, all of our groups are automatically set to invite only. But what we have done, and working with HubZero, is created this use of this restricted policy that allows mentors to step up and offer to help. As a mentor, typically what in the past they've had to do is just sit and wait on their email and hope that an invitation comes. Um, and sometimes people just don't get invited, and we've been trying to figure out why. But the other thing we thought was, why wait for an invitation? If you're willing to work with a given group, why not just offer to? So that's what this restricted setting does. And you can come down here, and if you have like some kind of priorities that you want to make your prospective mentors known about, like say these are all honors kids, they really need to be challenged, or I have a lot of English language learners, so if you speak Spanish, that's really welcome. You can put those kind of preferences in here, and then people who want to become part of your group will see that. So for example, and I'm going to come down here to, this is me, this is my personal account. And if I'm logged in as a mentor and I'm interested in mentoring for a team, I can come to galleries and click on groups currently seeking members. And since it's set restricted, I can see this group here, and I have the ability to click join group. Now, just to be clear though, when I click join group, I'm not actually going to be put in the group automatically. I have to apply to join. So So there's again a customizable message here that the mentor can complete. So mentors, if you're coming out this way, it's sometimes nice to use this to introduce yourself. But all the information about the group is here, and then you can click apply, and it will send an application to the teacher and the liaison of the group. The As a mentor who has applied, if I now go to my dashboard, you'll see down here that you can see the group, but it says that I'm pending. So I can tell at a glance that this group's I'm a member of, but this one I'm still waiting on. As the teacher of the group, when I come out of here and I go to now I have a member alert that tells me that I have an application pending that I need to decide on. And when I click on members, now I can see that I have a pending person as well as somebody I've invited. The pending person, if I click on them, I have the ability to accept or decline them, or I can mouse over and see the whole message that they left and say I want to accept. So I click accept. And now when I go to my members page, that person is a mentor. Okay, so that's how that works. To go send invitations, you're going to come here, click invite members, tell how many you need, and then look at the list, send a message, and that's it. Always definitely be aware, though, how many invitees you have sitting on this tab. Check periodically, remove any that are pink. And when you have all of the members that you need, make sure you eliminate any other ones that are outstanding. Same thing if somebody has offered to join, but you haven't accepted them, but you now have everybody, you can click here and you can decline their application. And it has a nice message that just says, hey, we're already full, but we hope we could work with you in the future. Okay, so I hope that's clear. When it comes to assigning your mentors to projects, that's something I'm going to really talk about more in the next video. But one of the new features that they added for us this year is very cool, in that you can click on the members tab here, and you can see at a glance that Amazing Mentor has already been assigned to a project, but Jennifer Hartley has not. So this was something that we had added because it's often difficult to tell who's been assigned and who hasn't. Now you can just look right at this members tab and you can see exactly who is where. And you can also click on this to go directly to the project, whereas before you'd have to come down here and navigate to it. So that's nice and convenient. For everybody else, if you have questions about things that are going on, you want to know who your managers are, they now have a separate tab, and their role is now listed underneath their name. If there is no role listed, that just means they're an administrative account. Usually that's going to be the planting science staff, but we do have 2 coordinators on staff who also may show up as administrative managers. And that's it. That's your members tab. So again, you want to start inviting mentors probably 2 to 2.5 weeks before you expect students to be online. You want to give your mentors some time to get the message and respond to it. But it's also very key to stay on top of which ones are pending. I think that's kind of the bigger demand, is to watch and see, who's still sitting there when we no longer need people, and make sure that we're getting rid of old invitations. The other thing I will say is that it's very common to go, get closer to the time when students are supposed to start and you're still missing people. You can always invite more. So definitely do that. The other thing that you'll notice too is that down here it shows people that have been invited in the past but whose invitations have been canceled or declined in some way. This list down here will always be a nice reference because it'll tell you whether you had to cancel it or whether they declined it, so that if they declined it, you don't ask them again. So that's something else to keep in mind. This is a nice reference. All right, hope that's helpful. If not, please, of course, let me know. Just a reminder too, this need help section here is legit. You can use this link to send me an email. You can also send me a text if it's something you need to know quickly. Please let me know who you are, though. If you just say, I can't make my group work, I won't know who that is. So helping me to know who's texting me is very helpful. And always, I'm available to sit down with you, have a Zoom call, whatever. In this application, this appointment slots down here, you can click through and find slots that are open that work for you, and I will send you a Zoom link and we will meet and sort you all out. Hope that's helpful. Let me know if there's anything else I can tell you. We have one more video coming up in this series where we'll talk about how to create projects and add and manage your students, and that's it. All right,